Hi, and welcome to Lab 2. I'm Adam, and I'll be your guide. In exercise 2, you need to measure the spring constant of your spring. You'll do this by hanging an object of known weight. In this case, I use a can with a mass of 355 grams. Measure the natural length of the spring before it's stretched, and then measure the stretched length of your spring. In exercise 3, you'll measure the coefficient of static friction between your object and the ground. First, set up your experiment by placing your object on a flat surface and connecting it to your spring. Lay your measuring tape parallel to the length of your spring. Slowly pull your spring horizontally until your object begins to slide across the surface. Note the length of your spring right before it starts to move. Using this, and your spring coefficient, you should be able to measure force of static friction. So in this video, you can see where I've marked the start of the spring, and as I pull on the spring, its length increases. I keep pulling, and I have to zoom out a little bit, and at a certain extension, your object begins to slide. Note the length of your spring right when it begins to slide. In exercise 4, you will be measuring the coefficient of kinetic friction. Set up your spring and object like you did in exercise 3, with the spring attached to the object and the spring horizontal to the surface you'll be dragging the object across. Drag your object at a constant velocity and measure the extension of your spring. It's important that your object is moving at a constant velocity, and you may find it easier to drag your ruler along with your object. This is what I do in the video. By taking a video recording of this extension, you're able to pause the video at various times and look at the extension of your spring. Do this 3 times and report the average extension in the chart attached to your lab. From this, and using your spring coefficient, you can derive the kinetic coefficient of friction.